My name's Mr. X. This is Professor X. He's an X-Man. This is the Extreme channel. This is a tiny stat. Where the hell did it go? Oh, there he is. Hey guys, got my Iron Studios 1/10 scale Professor X statue. And as usual, I'm extremely excited for a few different reasons. So first of all, this is my third 1/10 piece from Iron Studios. The other two pieces I've actually reviewed, they're Avengers. First is the 1/10 Ant-Man, and I was really impressed with this guy, especially for his size and price. And I purchased him because he goes with my quarter scale pieces. And just a little bit of math for you guys. 1/10 means they're 10 times smaller than what they'd be in real life. Quarter scale means they're 4 times smaller. So 4 is actually bigger than 10 when it comes to fractions and scales. Write that down. Second piece I ever bought to go with the Ant-Man was the 1/10 Iron Studios Wasp. You can check out that review right here. And I decided to get this piece right here because I pulled the trigger on their 1/10 scale Sentinel diorama, at least their first one. So I'm planning to put him right next to them. I think it'll look fantastic. It's probably facing the wrong way. He's one of the few that's not included in that diorama. That was only 1/3 of it. They're gonna have a whole, you know, here's a picture of the whole thing.
Previously on Xmen.
So that's 3 separate pieces. The first one probably coming out late 2020, early 2021. But this is kind of to wet my whistle. You know, my appetizer, he's gonna be displayed right next to it because his base matches, we're gonna talk about that. So that's why I purchased him, 175 bucks. Purchased him from Sideshow Collectibles. He's made by Iron Studios. Sideshow is the distributor. Just got him in. He did come with an art box. And we will talk all about his pieces when we talk about design, because we're going to use the traditional Extreme review. I got a new graphic for you guys. Check this out. A big shout out to Fernand Almeida, who actually has been doing a lot of these graphics for me. I'm a big fan of his, and he's a big supporter of the channel, so thank you very much. And I do want to pay attention that Rogue is a 4 out of 5 in here. She'll probably be a 5 out of 5 when she arrives next month. She's a 5 out of 5 now. But so we're going to use that to rate it. Essentially, it's a 1 through 5 scale, Extreme style. I like that, Extreme style. But let's dive into this piece right here. So he doesn't have an edition size. Iron Studios doesn't do that with the 1/10 pieces, which I'm not a fan of because it seems like they always release more. It's supply and demand and they can make more money, but whatever, it is what it is. And for now, he's actually going to go to, I'm going to put him at my office with my recent Chibi diorama right here. And he's not set up here yet, so eventually I'll post some pictures on the Extreme Facebook page. So if you haven't subscribed to that, check out the link in the bottom of this video and subscribe, and I'll post what he looks like next to them. But let's jump right in. First, we're going to talk about the concept of this piece. What I really like is it's classic Professor X. And with Professor X, it's hard to make him in an action pose because realistically, here's him displaying his power. That's all he does. He just has to sit there and think. And apparently putting your finger to your head makes you think harder. I know I do that. But right here he is. So first of all, the base is the X Mansion, and we'll talk about paint and sculpt later, but kind of a spoiler, it's very good, especially for a 1/10 piece. And he's in his futuristic hover chair. This is like the X-Men 90s cartoons, some of the futuristic comic books. I prefer this over the wheelchair personally. And inside of it, he's in the most dynamic pose, so action pose, that you could actually have Professor X in. He has 2 different portraits we'll talk about in design. One's with Cerebro, one's without. And it's kind of a mess on the floor. We didn't really talk about that. So this is definitely a battle going on. And if he goes along with the Sentinel display, part of that's the X Mansion, so maybe he's directing the fight, confusing. I don't know who he's using his power on, because Sentinels don't have brains. But in my mind, it'll work a little bit. So it's the classic Professor X concept, and it's really shocking to me people haven't done a Professor X yet. XM Studios has teased one for quite a while. They've showed it at many cons, but it hasn't gone up for PO. Here is both of them right here. Actually, I have two different options, the wheelchair or the hover chair. So I think there's a lot of good things going on with this concept. First of all, it's telling a story, and that story is going to match up with some possible other pieces you can add to this. It's telling the fact that there's a major battle going on in the X Mansion. I like that. Second of all, it's showcasing Professor X using his power as the best as you can showcase him. As we talked about, it's kind of difficult. So I think they nailed that down. They did go with the classic hover chair, which is my personal preference because I like the 90s cartoons. Some people would like the wheelchair instead. Not really a huge thing, but I like it. I think it's smart. On the ground here, they have some chess pieces, so kind of show he's very intellectual. Of course, who would want to play chess against Professor X? Because pretty sure you'd always lose. If I was Professor X, I'd play poker every day. Hear that, Sean? But I like it. I think the concept is definitely a W or a 4 out of 5. It's a rail. It's better than average. It's what you want out of Professor X. Next category we always talk about is design. Does it fit well together? Does it display? Were there any shipping issues? Are there switch outs? So let's talk about all those things. First of all, it displays very well. It's a 1/10 piece. It's very small, even though since he's not standing up, his chair takes up a lot of room. It actually surprisingly had a number of pieces. The base is one piece. This table is one piece, and mine actually broke in shipping, so it's 2 pieces. So hopefully Sideshow can get me a replacement for this table. Although it kind of flows with the statue that it's broke. The top of the chessboard down below is another piece. There are 2 white chess pieces and 4 black chess pieces that you can just put wherever. Wherever. I don't know why I did that action. The chair is one piece. Professor X, apparently in the future, it's not that his legs are broken. They're gone. He's missing his legs.
I have no legs. I have no legs.
And he has 2 different portraits. The first one right here you see with Cerebro. I don't think I'm a fan of this because he's in the mansion. He's not in the actual Cerebro sphere. And the other option is him without. And we'll look at both of these closely, but I think it's the same sculpt. All they did was add Cerebro. So I think it's cool that they added that as an option, but if you are doing 2 different portraits, change it up some. Make him more angry or distressed or something like that. So overall design, the broken part sucks. Really, I can't find a lot of issues. I think they could have done it so it looks like he hovers a little bit more. That's one thing we didn't talk about. He's not really hovering in this. You see a very large, probably about an inch long pedestal he's on. I don't know how they would have done it, but I think that's a negative. So I think overall the design is fine. It's very nice. 3 out of 5. Now we talk about paint and sculpt, and if you're a follower of this channel, you know traditionally we do 1/4 scale statues or bigger. It's rare we do 1/6, 1/10. Whenever you get smaller on a statue, it's harder to pull off those details, but Iron Studios does very well with their 1/10 line. And that's probably why it's been so successful. It's the displayability, the affordability, and you still get some of that great quality. So let's start looking at the base here. The sides of the base kind of insinuates it's concrete under the ground. They do a lot of this with bases that you see outside. The paint job's fine. There's some different colors in there. The sculpt's okay. But what's really good is the top of the floorboards. They did a fantastic job. If the Sentinel piece is going to be like this, I think collectors are going to be extremely happy. There's great texture, great coloring on it. The pieces that are broken up are okay. I don't like them as much as the wood. Check out the faded part on the ends where it's kind of cracked off. The vase looks okay. I don't think it's really needed. Here's the chessboard. The chessboard also you can set wherever you want. You probably want to set it near where the table is, insinuating that it fell down. Speaking of the table, here's the table. Some cool detail for such a small piece. One other thing on design here, the table doesn't quite go in all the way. So you see a little bit of the key. And here's the carpet. I love this carpet. Really, really cool. Really gives it that mansion, the house feeling. Chess pieces, little plastic chess pieces look okay. I like his chair. It's a little longer than I remember. That's what she said, but I like the color on it. It's not too bright, not too shiny, but it's not too yellow. It's an interesting mix between gold and yellow. I think they could have used a little bit more detail in circuitry, but that might have made it too messy and they wanted it very clean. Let's look at the padding right here on the back. This looks too plasticky to me. They could have made this look better, more like a cushion. I think it's one of the few misses in the paint and sculpt of this statue. Like his blanket looks like a real blanket sculpted on there. You traditionally see this on him. It's a great way for them to cover up his legs and not have to worry about that. Take a look at his suit. Really well done. The wrinkles in it. There's some slight texture, not much. I think the green color works well with the statue. It contrasts the other colors nicely. The shirt and tie, it's a little bit of messy paint, but it still looks good. I think they would have done some justice to do a little bit of texture to the shirt. You can see the buttons on the wrists of the shirt. Great sculpt on his hands, really well done. The flesh tones look good too. Hopefully my camera's picking them up. It's hard to take pictures of things when they're this small, which she did not say. Let's look at his portrait with Cerebro really quick, and we're really just going to look at Cerebro on this. It sits kind of high on his head. It makes him look like he has a cone head. I do not like it at all. And what's funny is the color's okay on it, but when you look at the other portrait, here it is, it looks like a different expression, but it's not. But just the helmet, the Cerebro helmet, doesn't make it look stupid. Here he's really focused. The task at hand. I think they got a decent likeness for a comic version of Professor X, of Charles Xavier. Also some good flesh tones on this as well. Good sculpt on the face, especially for something so small. The paint and the details, the eyebrows, the eyes, the lips look really good. So like some of you, with the Sentinel piece coming out, if it's this good, I think we are going to be ecstatic, and we might have to go all in. But I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to have him at my office next to the Chibi for now. Eventually that whole Sentinel thing will go at my office, because here we have the quarter scale, so there we'll do the 10th scale. So if you haven't seen the quarter scale wall, check out the room tour video right here. But I like it. I like it a lot. I think the paint and sculpt were really well done, especially for this piece. A few minor areas, like I said, I would have fixed up. A little bit better texture on the below the base. A little better paint on his shirt. But otherwise, I think the paint and sculpt both deserve a W, a 4 out of 5. Very impressive for a 1/10 piece. I'm really liking this. It definitely is satisfying my appetite. So I think the overall score, does this have the X factor? It doesn't, but man, price $175, the detail, how this is going to go with the whole diorama. I think this is a 4 out of 5 statue. Well done, Iron Studios. Rail for me, not a grail, but a statue people would really want, and it's readily accessible too. So with that, also in my description below, there is a link to get this. It's not a referral link. I don't make any money off of it. But you can get it from Sideshow. You can also go to Iron Studios' website. Again, please subscribe or like and follow the Extreme channel page on Facebook. That way you can see pictures I don't necessarily post on the YouTube channel. Really, really cool. Let me know of the 1/10 line from Iron Studios. Which one do you fancy the most? This is only my third piece from them. I think I like Ant-Man a little bit better because of some of the dynamics on it, but I am stoked about the Sentinel line personally. So those are my thoughts for today, guys. Thanks for hanging in with me, and I will see you guys tomorrow. And if it's washed out really bad, I'm trying something new with the lighting. Take care.